Oh my god, we're being filmed.
Can't read this.
Alright.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. Would you like to be referred to as Ike or Ein Astronaut?
Eike.
Ike? Good, because it was going to feel weird addressing you as Ein Astronaut the whole time.
It's another band.
That's true. We're a totally separate entity. So I guess the first thing that we should talk about is something that isn't even on the list, but I just now remembered it, so I feel like maybe we should start at the beginning. We should start about how we met in the first place.
Oh, yeah. Was it 2009?
Yeah. Whenever you released Turn.
Yeah. And one of the comments were from you, and it was saying, I want to help you get seen.
Yeah, because back in the day, I actually had a bit of an audience, and I really wanted to help him out because his music blew my mind.
In my opinion, and on my mind, you turn it on.
There's another YouTube musician named Jack Conti, and I was a huge fan of him, still am a huge fan of him, but I used to look at his favorites on YouTube just to see what he was listening to because our music tastes were so similar, and he had favorited Turn, and I was like, oh, what's that? And I clicked it, and I just was blown away by it. It's kind of crazy how like the domino effect happens, because if you hadn't done that, and if Jack Conti hadn't seen it and favorited it, and I hadn't looked at his favorites, this would have never happened 10 years later.
Definitely.
Which is kind of crazy.
So, thanks, Jack.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. So anyway, you know, like we just talked and stuff for about a year or so, and you mentioned something to me once about we should try to make a song together, because you had already put guest stuff on my Ren project, which is another thing that I do on my own.
I know it's not my time to, but then when everyone just slips away.
And he, on my first like decent record, probably my best one actually, he helped me every step of the way, both with producing, adding stuff, adding vocals, piano lines sometimes, synth lines, and he helped me through that whole process. And then when I was done with that, he had mentioned to me, like, why don't we try to do something outside of his project and my project and create something together. And that's how Joy started, which was, what, 9 years ago now? Ish?
I think so, yeah. I think you came up with that guitar riff, and then...
Which is one note. The whole song is pretty much one note.
Yeah.
It was kind of just like a test to see if like the equipment that I had was even up to snuff with what he was doing. So I just kind of played this little simple melody, and then like a week later he sent this awesome thing back to me. I was like, what is this? How did this happen?
Try to look around. I hide behind my crown. Lost in the sound. Falling to the ground.
And it just happened because what you did somehow fits to what I do.
Which is really nice. So then over the course of the next 9 years, we wrote 5 songs together in 9 years.
Yeah, and we always wanted to make an album, and we always wanted to meet, but somehow...
Him being from Germany and me being from the middle of nowhere in America made it really difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
And then there were also periods where I was super busy with work stuff, or you were super busy with work stuff.
Yeah, but always found a way back. Somehow.
Yeah, which is really cool, because most of the time, I'm sure anybody that has internet friends can probably relate to this. You know, you have them for a while, and then for some reason you just kind of stop talking, you know, like for whatever reason. But that never really happened with us. Like, for a few months, like you said, we wouldn't talk or whatever. But then when we'd start again, it'd just be like, you know.
Yeah, how have you been?
Yeah. What you been up to the last 4 months?
Yeah. Let's
So
do a song again.
and then 2 years later, we'd have one.
What is my obsession? What have I done? Is this just a lesson about the feelings that I run from? You can't define it, 'cause you don't care.
So anyway, fast forward to this year, and he decides he wants to come to America. I thought it was crazy because of all the places you could have went. You could have went to New York or LA, or Chicago, or New Orleans, even Seattle. He's like, I want to come to KEOKUK, Iowa, and make a record with you. And I was like, yeah, let's do that. Like, we should totally do that.
Yeah, it wasn't actually so much the place, the person I wanted to see, of course.
Which is also nice, but incredibly intimidating too, because I remember the night before we went to get you, I was laying in bed and I like had an anxiety attack because I'm like, oh my God, he's about to travel halfway across the world for the most boring human being ever. I was like, he's going to be so bored here. I'm not going to know what to say or what to do. And then I thought, like, because I, like, you know, the reason he was coming was to make a record, and I couldn't write anything. Like, I had nothing. The night before you came, I'm like, he's going to come here, and I'm not going to be able to play anything. He's going to see how bad of a musician I actually am. And so, like, I had this awful anxiety attack out of nowhere. But it ended up being all right, because then you got on the plane. And then here's where you kick in with your mess.